Right, 2 minutes past time. Don't worry, you're just right on time for KUTV Primetime News. This, the 22nd day of October, the year 2024. Indeed, it's a day that we have seen a beehive of activities. Legal minds engaging themselves in what could be an imminent fight for impeached Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. These are a very unprecedented time for the impeached DP. However, this marks the beginning of a long journey and the final process of what could be either a do or die moment affair for Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. From the interpretation of the Constitution to the landmark ruling of the housing levy, and of course now the housing levy law in regard to that, settling the long journey battle that has been fought for many months in regard to this, the controversial housing levy that really introduces 1.5% gross domestic, that is a deduction from the gross salary of Kenyans to fund or facilitate the affordable housing, one of the key pillars of the President William Ruto's administration, and that and many more. And of course, we'll be switching focus now to the noise, and of course that has really shouted and of course covered the political spectrum to something very important, the beginning of the National Secondary Education Examination that kicked off officially today. A very key, important discussion in regard to what is happening in the nation. And don't forget, we have a special feature lined up for you as well in regard to that matter. These and many more in our subsequent bulletin tonight. But first thing first, our top stories tonight.
Tonight, properly enacted and within the Constitution. High Court okays housing levy law. I want them out. Gachagua wants 3-judge bench handling an application seeking to set aside orders blocking Kindiki from taking over his office to excuse themselves. Also tonight, not today, Gachagua ignores DCI invite, attends court for a case to challenge his ouster. Plus, nothing to smile about. On our special feature tonight, we highlight the agony of new funding model crisis.
This is KUTV Primetime News with Auma Evans.
And my co-pilot tonight is Lucy Kiare. Remember, you can talk to us on all of our social media platforms. The numbers are down below your screen. And of course, we invite you to send in your views in regard to our bulletin tonight, and we'll be sure to sample all of your feedback at the tail end of our broadcasting tonight. So we begin with the latest in the corridors of justice. Kenyans will now continue paying the 1.5 gross salary deductions every month for the affordable housing project after the High Court upheld the legality of the levy, ruling that it was properly enacted in accordance to the Constitution. The ruling, made by a 3-judge bench constituting of Judges Olga Sewe, John Chigiti and Josephine Mungare, ruled that the affordable housing levy complied with the Constitution and that the National Assembly adequately involve the public in the public participation process when passing the bill in Parliament. Today's session marked the end of 6 cases filed at the High Court challenging the constitutionality of the housing levy. And now the impeached Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua failed to appear before the Directorate of Criminal Investigation at the DCI headquarters here in Nairobi today. This is after the DCI invited Gachagua to shed light on the allegations he made on Sunday, where he claimed that there were people who tried to poison him in 2 separate occasions. Rigathi Gachagua, however, appears to have prioritized the court cases challenging his removal from office. Gachagua's trouble with the DCI started way back when he publicly criticized the DCI and the National Intelligence Service, accusing them of failing President William Ruto during the Gen Z-led protests. And now switching gears to education matters, the 2024 Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education has officially kicked off today with oral exams for French, German, Kenya Sign Language and music practicals. The main written papers are set to begin on 4th of November and the KPSEA students to sit on their examinations on the 28th of this month this year. Examinations will take place on 10,755 centers in Kenya with a recorded high number of 965,501 candidate compared to last year. And still matters education as the country readies itself for the 2024 national examinations. 88 learners in Arombe Primary School in Migori County are in fear of exam disruptions due to land dispute that poses a security risk to the learners. Bobasi constituency learners in Kisii County are also in fears of a looming inconvenience due to non-reconstruction of the collapsed Nyamache Bridge that now hinders smooth transportation.
Suna West Sub-County in Migori County, Arombe Primary School, which has a population of 1,100 pupils, is facing a land dispute as a neighboring individual encroaches on school property. The school, which was donated a 2 hectares piece of land 5 years ago, is now embroiled in conflict as the neighbor erected a structure prompting students to dismantle in a bind for justice. Jacob Onyango, the school head, has expressed concern for the 88 grade 6 students who will be taking their exams in just a week.
There's been a problem to control the bigger number of learners within. We got support from the national government, 2 classrooms to construct.
Meanwhile, in Kisii County, the collapsed Nyamache Bridge is feared to dispute transport and exam administration, especially as officials need to walk nearly 2 kilometers to access the sub-county headquarters to ferry exams papers. The bridge is alleged allocated 20 million for reconstruction, but nothing visible has been done yet.
Collapsed Nyamache Bridge that is likely to hinder the smooth administration of the 2024 national examinations. Local professionals are met today to discuss key issues of concern to Bobasi constituency, especially in the face of the ongoing heavy rains amid poor roads and the collapsed bridge. We therefore wish to state as follows. 1, we are extremely concerned and infuriated over the suffering that area residents are going through that has been occasioned by the delayed construction of the Nyamache Bridge that collapsed more than 1 year ago. Center managers will not be able to access the deputy commissioner's, county commissioner's office where the examination materials are kept just because of the breach.
Wananchi kutoka Bobasi tumeumia sana kwa sababu ya hii daraja. Tumeumia, wanabodaboda, wanafunzi, kila mmoja, all professionals. Na ndio sababu tumekuja hii leo ili kuleta malalamiko yetu kwa serikali so that the government can take speed action. Tunataka kuona engineer amekuja kwa site so that our children, as they do the exams for the next 3 weeks, wanafunzi wetu wapate amani ya kufanya mtihani. The teachers, as they walk to and from schools, they can be able to access the exam materials in good time. So we are calling upon the government, our president, the Ministry of Public Works, Kura, Kera, come up and assist Bobas constituents.
Nevertheless, the Ministry of Education, led by the CS of Education, Julius Migos, is wishing all the 1,313,913 KPSEA and 965,501 KCSE 2024 candidates success in all their upcoming examinations, some of which began today. Rukia Hussein, KUTV, Nairobi.
Now back to our top stories. A 3-judge bench will on Wednesday render verdict on whether they will excuse themselves in a case challenging the orders blocking the appointment of Professor Kithure Kindiki as the Deputy President. Impeached Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua through his lawyers led by Senior Counsel Paul Mwite sought to find out whether Deputy Chief Justice Philomena Mwilu has the capacity to empanel a bench.
Outstarred Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua's petition challenging his replacement kicked off on Tuesday with his lawyer strongly representing his case before Judge Anthony Mrima, Eric Ogola and Frida Mugambi. The 3-judge bench also questioned its formation by Chief Justice Martha Koome.
Chief Justice, the power to empanel a bench by express reading of the Constitution, she cannot be able to do that. Issue number 2 is that it is not for nothing that it is one of the biggest occasions that the senior most judicial officer is the one that the people of Kenya, judicial power in the first place vests in the people. Judicial power by express words of the Constitution or to do this appointment and work under Article 165 was vested on the Chief Justice. It is not by accident. It is by the express intention. When a state officer who is not directly mandated to do something ends up doing it under public law judicial review, it is done every day. You did not have the power under statute or the Constitution to do that.
After intensive engagement and rebuttals by legal teams present at Milimani Law Courts, the Judge Eric Ogola-led bench resolved to have the final word and pronouncement made on Wednesday before 3 p.m.
We convene tomorrow, the 23rd of October at 3:30 p.m. Thank you.
Only agency that one is able to trace is that somebody somewhere is in a hurry to vacate the conservatory orders that preserve the substrata of the petition was very weighty in order to swear in somebody somewhere. Yes.
In an attempt to block today's hearing, President William Ruto had filed a petition stopping the hearing of the petition by Rigathi Gachagua, terming the move of having him as the 6th respondent as unconstitutional since he was still in office. This process is after Judge Chacha Mwita from Milimani Law Courts and Richard Mwongo on Saturday filed to stop the swearing-in of nominated Deputy President Kithure Kindiki, a similar attempt by Attorney General Dorcas Oduor, also bearing no fruit. Rigathi Gachagua, who prioritized his impeachment petition to making a date with the DCI officers, still awaits determination of his fate tomorrow. Ochieng Cynthia for KUTV News.
Thank you, Chiang Cynthia, for that comprehensive reporting. Now let's move on. The Institution of Engineers of Kenya has called on the government to improve the welfare of engineers so as to help them foster economic growth. According to IEK President Engineer Shama Kitema, the event is expected to highlight outcomes to improve infrastructure development with an aim rather of creating job opportunities among engineers. Listen in.
Under the theme of industrialization for economic transformation and employment creation, the Institution of Engineers of Kenya, in support of the government, represented by Water and Sanitation Cabinet Secretary Engineer Eric Muga and other key stakeholders, launched the 31st International Convention, which will happen in Mombasa. According to IEK President Engineer Shama Kiteme, the event's goal is to come up with ways on how to improve the field of engineering, for it is the key to fostering infrastructural development in the country.
We strongly believe that if we witness a rapid industrialization, we will witness creation of employment opportunities and a growth in our economy. We believe that rapid industrialization is actually achievable.
Engineer Kiteme has called on the government to partner with engineers in Kenya, stating that the number of engineers needs to rise. Additionally, Kiteme has called on government ministries to use skilled engineers in Kenya, highlighting that this will bridge the gap between upcoming and experienced engineers.
Aligned to the fact that this effort will create job opportunities for engineers of all cadres: electrical engineers, mechanical, chemical and production engineers will benefit from rapid industrialization and increase growth in manufacturing. Agricultural engineers will benefit as we invest heavily in agro-processing.
Water and Sanitation CS Engineer Eric Muga has lauded the great achievement made by engineers, stating that creative technology and innovation will go a long way in improving infrastructure in Kenya.
Innovation and technology development are the key drivers that will propel us forward. In today's fast-changing world, research and development are critical to keeping our nations competitive. We live in a very competitive world. The integration of innovation technologies into engineering is not just an option, but it has become a necessity.
Eric Muga has affirmed that the government is fostering partnership with engineers under the bottom-up economic transformation agenda with the aim of propelling the country's economy.
We are committed to working with all engineering professional bodies in this room, EBK, IEK, ASEC, to create all-inclusive policies that support the profession.
The convention will kickstart on the 29th of this month to the 1st of next month, bringing together key stakeholders in the engineering sector. Edward Nyamu, KUTV.
Right, that story by Edward Nyamu takes us to our first break here on Primetime News. And remember, plenty more to follow after the break, including our special feature tonight.
Baada ya kukosa mshahara kwa zaidi ya miezi mitano akifanya kazi kama mwalimu, ujuzi wake wa kinyozi na ukandaji ukamwokoa.
How's the pressure? Iko sawa? Iko mzuri. Yeah, you have to confirm the pressure with the client. If it's too hard, you reduce. If it's too soft, you increase. Ndio usimuumize na bado usikue kama mfanye kitu, unaona? And because he's the one who is feeling, you have to make sure you inquire from your client. Tunasema massage should be enjoyable, haifai kuwa uchungu.
Ipate simulizi ya mchakato mzima wa ukandaji na kunyoa kitaalam kwa kina Jumatano hii katika kipindi cha Mwanamke Mwake Mwake, ukiwa nami Caroline Kimwele.
Samaki mkunje angali mbichi ni kauli anayoifahamu fika Derek Ogonda.
I think kitu muhimu kwa mtu yeyote mwenye ako na talent ni passion.
Bidii yao ndio fahari wanayojivunia. Matokeo yake ni faida tele.
So far tulikuwa champions wa Kiambu Chapadimba, wameenda paka regionals, walicheza hadi semis.
Jiunge nami mwanaspoti wako Summit yake Jumaa ya tarehe 25 Oktoba saa 12:30 na saa 3 usiku kwa uhondo kamili.
Katika maisha yetu ya leo, wakulima na jamii nyingi kwa ujumla wanakumbatia teknolojia mbalimbali na kilimo hai ili kuondoa magonjwa sugu na kuongeza usalama na utoshelevu wa chakula. Mbolea asili imepunguza asidi kwenye udongo na kuongeza mavuno chungu nzima. Wajua tuko shambani, na shambani pia kuna ng'ombe, kuna kuku, na wanaacha uchafu wao. Na huo uchafu si wa kutupwa, ni wa kutumika katika kilimo kama mbolea. Kwa sababu mimea hii imekuwa kutumia mbolea ya hawa wanyama. Wakulima mbalimbali wamekumbatia teknolojia ili kuokoa gharama ya ukulima na kutumia nafasi zilizopo katika mashamba yao.
You are watching KUTV Primetime News with Auma Evans.
Welcome back and thank you for choosing to stay with us. Remember, you can still talk to us on all of our social media platforms, and we'll be sure to sample all of your feedback at the tail end of our bulletin tonight. So let's move on. Kenyatta University has inaugurated the new Student Governing Council, popularly known as TIBA, at the Kenyatta University's amphitheater. KUTV's Anyango Silva reports from KU's main campus.
Glenn Karani Kikundi.
Kenyatta University students and faculty gathered today full of excitement to witness the inauguration of the new Student Governing Council, tasked with representing over 74,000 students across the 9 campuses across the country. Led by Deputy Vice Chancellor Professor Washeki Wanjohi, both students and faculty celebrated the new team known as TIBA, which promised in their manifesto to ensure that student concerns are heard by the university administration.
I would like to assure the incoming KUSA leadership that the university management is committed to offer you the support required in discharging your duties in an exemplary manner. As elected leaders, you have the privilege of representing the students in key making decision bodies in the university as provided for in the Kenyatta University Statutes 2013.
With this leadership bestowed upon you comes great expectation from your fellow comrades as well as the university management. In your effort to fulfill your campaign pledges, please always remember to also strive to further the vision and mission of our great institution for prosperity.
Professor Washeki emphasized the need for a constitution to guide all key processes within the university, especially in the election of student leaders, to ensure peace and order as was witnessed before and after the just concluded elections.
As Kenyatta University are known to come up with such great documents that guides our processes, that guides our procedures, that guides our events. And this has greatly contributed to make Kenyatta University the university that it is today.
TIBA Student Governing Council, led by Glenn Karani, marks the 20th leadership team since the inception of student election at Kenyatta University. This follows the conclusion of the election that began on the 16th of October and concluded on October 17th, 2024. The new leadership has expressed confidence in the university's governing board, with hopes that all student grievances will be addressed according to the university's abilities.
We will establish a performance review system, create a student-led audit committee, and ensure that every leader regularly reports back to you. Accountability is not just about punishments, it's about ensuring that leadership remains connected to the people it serves.
But as an institution, we believe that courage is not only what it takes to speak, but it is also what it takes to have dialogue with the parties to which you think you are aggrieved. I am looking forward to a resolute and definite clear engagement with you, Madam Vice Chancellor, and all the management on a way in which we can salvage our institution and help our comrades.
With the new SGCT making a firm stance, committing to fight for the students' welfare diligently and without any fear, they are also mandated with the task of ensuring they find balance between their academics and their leadership. Anyango Sylvia, KUTV.
Okay, now to our special feature tonight. Following the suspension of the implementation of the new funding university model by the High Court in early October 2024, hundreds of university students now remain unsure of how their education journey looks like. One such case is that of Sarah Auma, a first-year student at Kenyatta University. In our special feature, our very own Theo Masharia narrates how a call from her father asking her to call off her university education due to high university fees as a result of miscategorization in the banding threatened to quash her dream of becoming a special need expert. Listen in.
Amidst the life and buzzing activities in Mathare 4A area sits Sarah Auma and her family. Sarah, a first-year Bachelor of Education in Special Needs student at Kenyatta University, appears to be at a crossroads with high university fees standing in between her and her future. Despite living from hand to mouth, Sarah was placed in Band 5 under the new university funding model and therefore is expected to pay a household contribution of 97,920 shillings per year. This category is for students from homes earning above 120,000, an amount far from what her family can afford.
Mambo ya kuingia university ilikuwa shida. Lakini nilijaribu tu kuongea na mafamilia, marafiki, awanisanye kidogo. Hawakusanya, walisanye kitu kama 8,000. Nikaenda tu nikampatia apply hiyo, alilipa tu nayo nini hostel. Sasa kulingana vile serikali walisema mtoto aingie tu, hata kama hana pesa aingie tu. Yeye alienda tu akaingia. Pia nilimwambia hakuna haja uende university, utaweza. Mimi sitakulipia. Unaona? Sitaweza. Sasa waliniambia wacha tu nione tu gate ya university hivi. Nikisaona nitarudi nitafute bwana niolekwe.
Sarah explains that her efforts to lodge an appeal to the higher education portal to place her in a different band turned futile.
I was placed in band 5. Na band 5, I'm paying 97,960 per year, of which my parents are unable to pay for it. So I tried to appeal, but up to now, I have no feedback about it. Okay, after I appeal, so I received some calls from HELB. Wakaniambia I should just relax. Actually, sijapata nini yangu, HELB yangu, upkeep. upkeep ndio kitu nilikuwa at least nategemea, but for now bado sijaipata. But walinipigia wakaniambia I should just relax, they'll sort the issue, but up to now the issue haven't been solved.
As a result, her life at the university has been a roller coaster of trying moments.
Ananiambia ati sasa pesa inatekana, atanilipe ndio nitafanya mtihani hata hii semester 1. Kamwambia nilikuambia wewe fanya hivi, chukua virago yako urudi nyumbani ukae vile tuliogana. So ulisaona university hivi, urudi ukae. Sasa hivyo ndio nilipigia hiyo simu. Sasa baadaye hiyo siku nikasikia mtoto alikuwa na stress kwa shule, mara analia, mara akutunda nia ya mara kufe nini.
My life at Kenyatta University imekuwa very mysterious. Ni ile tu kusurvive. Ndio kuinama is normal for the comrades, but mine was a little bit worse. Hiyo pesa kiasi hata saa zingine nilikuwa nakosa. Maybe nikipewa kiasi natumia kiasi, but ikiisha hakuna, ni kulala tu njana kusurvive. Sometimes I had friends wenye wakipika walikuwa wananisaidia. Maybe wananikopesha, but sikuwa napenda kukopesha kwa sababu kurudisha hiyo do ilikuwa very tough. There is this new girl alinimit kwa hostel when I was crying. Actually I don't know her, maybe she was God sent. So she met me in the hostel crying and she asked me what the problem is. So I tried to share my story with her, because nilikuwa hungry after sleeping for 2 days without eating anything. Maybe strong tea ndo nilikuwa nakunywa. So when the girl came, I tried talking to her. I tried explaining to her how my situation was, and she asked me if he can air the story out kwa social media. So for me, I never disagree with her. So nilikubali. So after the story was aired out, at least nilipata some help from well-wishers. So nilishalipia for the first semester.
With Sarah's first semester fees now settled by well-wishers, a cloud of uncertainty, however, still broods over her subsequent semester, her family glaring at raising a whopping 97,920 shillings per year.
So I don't know for the second semester, I don't know how it will be, but I pray that doors shall open for me. In a month, approximately we use 4,000 kama housekeep, because actually my dad earns 10,000, but this 10,000 also caters for my siblings' school fee. So our siblings wengine pia lazima walipiwe fee, tupate shopping kidogo. So 10,000 haiwezi fika hata 3/4 of my fee. That's why nilikuwa naona I deserve being in band 1.
Sarah's father, a casual laborer, links her daughter's academic woes to what he calls inaccurate grading parameters and an ineffective means testing instrument used to band students in different categories.
Sasa waserikali hawaje kuangalia hivyo vile wanaangalia. Ati wengine wako na wazazi wawili, wengine wako na wazazi wawili. Huko na huko mko wawili na muna hata kitu ya kukula. Mko wawili na mnakaa kama chokra. Mara mtoto amesoma high school. Mtoto amesoma high school kwa sponsor. Mtoto amesoma high school amesaidiwa. Sasa band 5 utaomba mtu pesa ngapi ndio uende ulipe?
In a ruling delivered on October 3rd, 2024, High Court Judge Justice Chacha Mwita ordered the model to be temporarily halted pending the hearing and determination of a case filed by the Kenya Human Rights Commission alongside the Elimu Bora Working Group, Boaz Waruku, and the Students' Caucus. The case filed states that the implementation of the funding model is discriminatory and a breach of the right to education since it threatens to lock out thousands of students from accessing higher education. The petitioners further pointed out that President Ruto did not follow the due process when launching the model in May 2023. The government on its end, however, continues to insist that the new funding model holds the solution to universities struggling with debts running into tens of billions of shillings and is designed to make education more accessible to vulnerable students.
I don't think it is correct for all of us to assume that we are all the same and that students from vulnerable families don't need affirmative action. They do. And that is why in this new model, we are increasing scholarship and loan for students from vulnerable families from 80% to 95%. I am persuaded that it is the right thing to do.
Sarah Auma's family appears to be reading from a different script from that of the government, forcing them to make numerous visits to the constituency and ward offices seeking for financial aid, where yet again Sarah's father says that they have been left in the dark, not knowing what to do.
Wakatupea form, tukajaza, wakatuambia tupeleke Bunge Towers. Kabla tujafika Bunge Towers, nikapiga simu kwa mwenye alituma sisi kwake. Akatuambia tuende Nyayo House, floor ya 8 door 14 hapo. Sasa nikaenda hapo nikapata kwa ofisi ya Ngafu. Sasa nikapeleka hiyo form hapo. Na wakati tulikuwa tunaenda na hii, walituharakisha sana tuende haraka. Nilikuwa nafikiria naenda kutoka na pesa kwa mkono. Kumbe ni karatasi. Kupeleka huko, mwenye nilipata huko akaniambia si mambo ya basari ilisaisha. Hadi saa hii wajatupigia simu tuende tuchukue pesa, ama sijawahi sikia wamelipa. Juu wangelipa mtoto angeona. Haya, MCA ukienda kwake anasema yeye adil na watu wa university. Yeye baana basari ya university.
For Sarah's sake and many others in a similar situation, Sarah's family is calling on the government to involve parents as key stakeholders while making education reforms that may have a lasting effect on the current and other generations to come.
The story of Sarah Auma, a first-year student at Kenyatta University from Mathare 4A area here in Ruaraka constituency, Nairobi County, reflects the dire state of hundreds of students in the country who risk missing out living their dreams as a result of the state of confusion marring the education sector, courtesy of the new funding model or the new university funding model. And the clarion call is asking the government to act swiftly and settle this matter before it is too late. Theo Masharia for KUTV.
All right, now let's take a very short break. Remember, plenty more to follow. Up next.
Samaki mkunje angali mbichi ni kauli anayoifahamu fika Derek Ogonda.
I think kitu muhimu kwa mtu yeyote mwenye ako na talent ni passion.
Bidii yao ndio fahari wanayojivunia. Matokeo yake ni faida tele.
So far tulikuwa champions wa Kiambu cha Padimba, wameenda paka regionals, walicheza hadi semis.
Jiunge nami mwanaspoti wako Sam Mitiaki Jumaa ya tarehe 25 Oktoba saa 12:30 na saa 3 usiku kwa uhondo kamili.
Katika maisha yetu ya leo, wakulima na jamii nyingi kwa ujumla wanakumbatia teknolojia mbalimbali na kilimo hai ili kuondoa magonjwa sugu na kuongeza usalama na utoshelevu wa chakula. Mbolea asili imepunguza asidi kwenye udongo na kuongeza mavuno chungu nzima. Wajua tuko shambani, na humu shambani pia kuna ng'ombe, kuna kuku, na wanaacha uchafu wao. Na huo uchafu si wa kutupwa, ni wa kutumika katika kilimo kama mbolea. Kwa sababu mimea hii imekuwa kutumia mbolea ya hawa wanyama. Wakulima mbalimbali wamekumbatia teknolojia ili kuokoa gharama ya ukulima na kutumia nafasi zilizopo katika mashamba yao.
akashuka akawa tuzo, ukakamavu wake ukatii na kumfanya mwenye bidii. Kwa machozi na makeke akabaini jinsi ya kuweni. Huyu ni mwanamke ngangari kwa jinsi alivyo ng'ari. Mimi ni mwanamke mwake. Usikose kutazama kipindi cha mwanamke mwake nami Caroline Kimweli.
It's time for sporty action. Athletics Kenya, in partnership with Run Together, will on November 16th host the Mount Longonot race in Naivasha, Nakuru County. The event, which covers 11.5 kilometers, will include 750 meters up and downhill routes, with over 1,000 elite athletes and fun runners expected to grace the event. World Cup champion Patrick Ngeno, Josephat Kiprotich, Paul Machoka and Richard Atuya are among top athletes who have confirmed their participations. The event, alongside the Nandi Barngatuch mountain running race in Nandi County, will be used to select a team to represent Kenya at next year's World Mountain Running Championship in Confraprinos in Spain. From athletics to boxing, Boniface, also known as the Hammer, Mugunde and Robert Okaka delivered a fine performance to secure their spots in the semi-finals of the Africa Boxing Championship held in Kinshasa in DRC Congo. In a brilliant display of skills and strategy, Mugunde outsmarted DRC Congo's Anderson Mazongo, who was unable to match his speed and technique, speeding much of the 3 rounds, throwing punches at thin air as Mugunde kept controlling of the fight. Robert Okaka defeated Morocco's Yassir Rugui by unanimous decision in the light heavyweight division, using his heavyweight punches to dominate and disorient his opponent, as Shafi Bakari wrapped it up by defeating Sierra Leone's Wisdom Barnour, guaranteeing Kenya another medal prospect in the tournament. Alright, it's a wrap. Many thanks for all those who made this production a success. My good name is Auma Evans. Lucy Kiari has been our sign language interpreter tonight. Until next time, do have a lovely night. See you next time. Bye bye.